Today on Sartorial Talks, we're going to once and for all clarify the difference between bespoke tailoring, made-to-measure, made-to-order, and ready-to-wear suits. A bespoke suit is a unique suit pattern created, cut, and sewn just for you. With bespoke tailoring, typically, in fact, I would say almost always, the suit is made on the premises with the tailor's name on the door of the shop. Typically, a bespoke suit is made from start to finish in this atelier, with the exception of the trouser maker. Often the trouser maker will work from home, and this isn't a scandal. It's something that's very common throughout the world for trouser makers to work from home. A bespoke suit can take between 40 to 80 hours of work with thousands of stitches involved. The word bespoke is derived from the verb bespeak, which means to speak for something. The adjective bespoken means ordered, commissioned, or arranged for. Tailors used to keep all their fabric in their shop, and this is from England originally. And clients would come into the shop, look around, choose their fabric, and the name, for example, Mr. Fields would be put on a Prince of Wales, for example. And that was Mr. Fields' fabric, and no other person was going to come in and claim that particular Prince of Wales pattern. And this was so common, and the word bespoken for became so usual that eventually the suit itself was called a bespoke suit. Many people will say a bespoke suit is completely hand-sewn, and in many cases this is indeed true. But some bespoke houses will choose to use a machine on a few items. For example, the canvas or the guts inside the jacket may either be hand-stitched, or some houses choose to use machine stitching for the canvas. There's a fantastic website that's been around for a long time. It's called Made by Hand, The Great Sartorial Debate. It's by Jeffrey Diduck. And Jeffrey, I'm sorry if I didn't pronounce your name correctly, but it's easy to find online, and it is a treasure trove of archives where Jeffrey has deconstructed bespoke suits and will specifically address different elements of the suit, and it's an invaluable resource for me, and I think you'll find the same if you give it a look. One thing special about a bespoke suit that is not the case with made-to-measure, made-to-order, ready-to-wear is that a bespoke suit is tailored to allow you to gain 20 pounds or lose 20 pounds. And that's typically done by adding 7 centimeters of fabric throughout the suit. And so, of course, if you cut away that fabric, if you really work out and lose weight, they will still employ 7 centimeters extra fabric for you to gain 20 pounds from that point, your lowest point of weight loss. So this is a very specific thing, and some people use their bespoke suits throughout their lives, and even if they're able to pass that suit down to someone in their family, they will do so, and it can last another lifetime. So one thing to do if you do commission a bespoke suit is get an extra pair of trousers, because if a suit's gonna last this long, the trousers eventually will wear out. So you want to have that extra pair of trousers to extend the life of the bespoke suit. Now I'm going to tell you 3 bespoke secrets. And I don't know if anyone else has covered this before, but I want you to add in the comments some more thoughts and ideas if you have those. There is a specific bespoke method that's not really talked about, and it was first incorporated, to my knowledge, by Small Toe. Small Toe, instead of drawing patterns freehand, they had, and maybe still do use, a template system where they have a large array of different sizing templates that keep the cut true to the house style, with the Conrolino shoulders, the La Cigarette shoulder, the very specific cut close to the body silhouette. And these templates are used to, after the measurements are taken from the client, just to adhere very strictly to that house style. And so we could talk about cutting away from the template or adding to the template according to the sizing of the body. The second secret is that some very famous houses have been said to fuse the inside of the lapel. So you will have a free, open, floating half lapel on top, and inside the lapel you'll have actual fusing, which sounds kind of dirty in the bespoke world, but it's actually a very lovely effect. And it's something that is a perception that can be overcome because it does have a lovely effect. Many other houses have a totally free canvas inside the lapel, and there's no fusing at all. In terms of fusing the inside part of the lapel, there is an explanation for this. A lot of these high-level tailoring houses are crafting for even kings in Africa and warmer climates, and the advantage to fusing the inside part of the lapel is that it acts as a stabilizing factor to keep that canvas in place so that you have a very smooth and alluringly beautiful lapel roll, and overall lapel appearance. So this climate element is the reason that the inner part of the lapel is fused. The last secret that I want to tell you about bespoke tailoring is that not all tailors can be called tailors. In fact, a tailor is usually someone that's working inside the house that's doing sewing. Most famous names will be reflecting either a master tailor or a cutter. A master tailor is able to cut and sew. He can make a suit from A to Z all by himself. And when you see this term master tailor, respect, hats off to these men and women who can craft a suit from beginning to end. Another term, and a lot of famous houses are named after cutters, which means they only cut. They're not able to sew, but they really are almost savants in the way that they can cut according to the measurements of the client. They can cut a brilliant suit, but they have tailors who are sewing and putting the suit together. And so that covers the bespoke tailoring section. Let's move on to made to measure. Made to measure is very interesting because we're talking about a perception that if you say made to measure, it must be fantastic. Well, this isn't necessarily the case, but it can be the case. The key word in made to measure is indeed measure. You can walk into a company, whatever the name of the made to measure company, and that company rep will literally measure you. After the company rep takes your measurements, that suit will most certainly not be made on location. It will be sent away to another factory or sartoria and crafted somewhere else. You should ask where, because some companies will craft in various places, and you can actually choose where you want them to send your suit to be crafted. They're actually pre-existing patterns that are kind of close to your measurements that will be taken by these different factories or sartoria and adjusted to adhere to your measurements. So it's not really a size, it's more like pre-existing patterns that are either added to or subtracted from to adjust to your size. And this is how made to measure works. The final thing you need to know about made to measure is that there is sometimes some hand finishing done on site. For example, some hemming or minor adjustments to fit may actually be done on the made to measure site. So this covers the made to measure area, and I hope gives you better understanding of what MTM means. Now the next area is very interesting. It's called made to order. If you notice there's a word missing in made to order, what is it? The word is measure, because there is no measurement. Made to order is kind of like ready to wear. There's sizes. You choose a size, but then you kind of adjust the bells and whistles. For example, the lapel type. Do you want a notch lapel? Do you want a peaked lapel? A shawl lapel? There's different choices, but it has nothing to do with sizing. Maybe your trousers, you want belt loops, or perhaps you prefer side adjusters on your trousers. So you're just choosing from different bells and whistles. You are not being measured or adjusting anything with your size. And this is what made to order means. Made to order typically is used with shoes, but it can also be used with suits. Finally, we move on to ready to wear. In terms of ready to wear, everybody knows what that means, because when you go to the mall, since you were a child, you go and you choose your size and you put it on and you buy it. That's all ready to wear means. You know your size, and there's one thing you have to know about ready to wear, and that is a great ready to wear suit will always be better than a bad made to measure suit. And I want to tell you why. If you go to some top high street brands and you try on their suits, there will be so many hand operations worked into the suit that sometimes you could think this is bespoke. Because literally, these sartorial are working by hand on different parts of the suit and then assembling the suit together. And there are so many elements there that are hand-stitched and handmade that a ready-to-wear suit can just blow your mind. It's so good. Let's go with some of the top sartoria that I can tell you about that do these hand operations. Sant'Andrea in Fano, for example. Hugo and I have visited this sartoria personally. We have seen some of the high street brand labels that they're making, and they are one of the top sartorias in the world. They also craft using their own name, Sant'Andrea. So you can buy direct from them. Sant'Andrea will also do some made to measure. If you want to go to Fano, Italy and get measured, you can get a made to measure suit there. They have people specializing in things like pockets, lapels, trousers, waistcoats or vests. So you have these specialty tailors and cutters that are just doing the specific elements of the suit and then putting them all together. Chiton, very famous sartoria in Napoli. They are doing something very special, and that is they're placing people in circles according to their specialty. And so it creates a kind of camaraderie, and they're sewing in circles. It almost reminds you of the old quilting parties they did centuries ago, where the women got together, and of course there's men working here too, and they all quilted in a circle. And this creates sort of a personal element to this chiton ready-to-wear suit that's something that's copied by other sartoria now, and it's a nice system for creating a suit. Another sartoria to be aware of is Belvest, excellent sartoria located near Padova, and they make a wide range of quality of suits, from the most basic to the most superb you can imagine. Hugo and I've also visited Belvest, and so from a wonderful family with exquisite taste, and you can always trust a Belvest suit. They make a very interesting jacket called Jacket in a Box. And this was just a blockbuster product that people all over the world wanted, that you could literally order and fold the jacket numerous times, take it out of the box, and then put it in your drawer later, wear it whenever you want. Super versatile travel jacket. And it's a good thing to be aware of if you want to get an interesting Belvest piece. Another sartoria in Napoli is Isaiah. I'm sure a lot of you have already heard about Isaiah. We visited their sartoria. It's very free for all. People listening with their headphones, crafting suits. Very high-tech equipment. One thing interesting about Isaiah is that they cut the collar of the jacket or suit coat to angle in to prevent a collar gap. So if you're a person that has collar gap issues, take a look at the Isaiah suits, and they might work really well for you. Another thing Isaiah is known for is their vegetable dyeing. So if you're a person who loves rich colors, they have some beautiful fabrics that are vegetable dyed, and you can take a look at Isaiah for that reason as well. Last point about Isaiah also is that they are not crafting for high street brands. They craft under their own label, and when you buy Isaiah, you do have the label of Isaiah on the suit. Same for Adelini in Napoli. They craft under their own name, And Adelini is a beautiful sartoria, and I can say after visiting with Hugo that Adelini is probably the most surgically clean sartoria that we've ever seen. Everything is extremely organized. They have a lot of English fabrics, even though they do craft in Italy. They have a penchant for English fabrics, and they have a very organized system. So I think an Adelini purchase is a purchase that you can have a lot of confidence in. You can count on it being fully handmade from start to finish. This is one of the purchases that you can make with confidence, and it's probably one of the highest level sartoria that Hugo and I have ever visited. We just covered the high level sartoria. I also want to cover the more affordable ready-to-wear sartoria. The fantastic ready-to-wear suits for the beginner. That includes Pini Parma, and the special thing about Pini Parma is that it is an Italian crafter that's making Pini Parma. The cost also is just fantastic for a beginner or even a veteran person who wants a nice suit fast. So Pini Parma, remember that name. We also have Suit Supply, which can be crafted in a variety of exotic places, but also a very dependable suit with a solid price point. Boji is the final crafter that I'll mention for ready-to-wear suits. And it's also crafted in various places, but is a very reliable suit, slightly higher price point than Suit Supply, but a great ready-to-wear suit to own. That covers the ready-to-wear or off-the-peg suits. I hope this gives you a good overview of bespoke, made-to-measure, made-to-order, and ready-to-wear suiting.